2023 Topps Allen and Ginter. 4 boxes, the last 4 of the case. Not allowed to add any more temporarily. Backer, I think, is going to adjust a whole lot of things in the store. Not just Ginter, but a lot of other products, too. And for that reason, I'm not allowed to add any more Ginter. So we do have a full case. That's PYT number 28 of Allen and Ginter. That's the last Ginter that's in the store. And that's the last Ginter that we're going to be able to do until we're allowed to add more. So if you want more Ginter, take the full case PYT 28 until we can tweak it. We'll probably be able to get more Ginter in a few days. I don't know anything about. I don't do the initial pricing, Dave. They don't trust me with that. They probably should, but they don't. So I'm not the one that does any of the initial pricing. I personally think that the Orioles are overpriced in Tier 1 because there is no gunner. Other than that, I think a couple other teams maybe should go up. And then some other teams should come down. I just think the Orioles are wildly overpriced. There's no gunner. If there's no gunner, they shouldn't be how much that they are. In my opinion. Just my opinion. Yeah, I'm shocked that gunner's not in there. It's like Karam's not even a Tier 1 guy, and even he came in here and a couple hours ago and said, is it true that there's no gunner in the Orioles in Tier 1? Like, even Karam heard about it. It's a good question, actually. That's a fair question, Dave. I'm going to guess the answer is no, but that's a good question. Were Wander cards produced and held back out of Tier 1? Very possibly. But I don't know, though, because then again, all these other products that had Wander, they just sent them out anyway, so, I bet they didn't make Wander for Tier 1. I bet they didn't. I bet there was no Wander in Tier 1. I think, Dave, they're going to hold out on the news as long as possible. I think it's one of those things where Major League Baseball doesn't want to hear a peep about the guy. I think nobody wants... I think they're just going to do their best to pretend the guy doesn't exist. They're just going to try to sweep him under the rug forever. They're just not going to speak about him. They're just going to... He's banished. He's like, you know, like they're just hiding. They don't want to talk about him. It does, but it doesn't, Dave. It's like... The Wander situation reminds me of the Robbie Jade Lou cheating scandal in poker. That's what it reminds me of, because it's like one of those things where, like, it's not good for anybody if the truth comes out in a weird way, assuming that the truth is negative. It's just not good for anybody. It's not good for baseball. It's not good for Wander. It's just not good for anybody. The organization. It's bad for everybody. You know what I mean? What's up, purple? I mean, it's more just like... Well, Robbie Jade Lou, she got in trouble for cheating in a poker scandal. But it was a very gray area as to whether or not she did actually cheat. And even though she probably did cheat, or at least most of the evidence points to yes, I personally think she didn't, for the record, but it's just one of those things where whether she did or she didn't almost doesn't matter, because the people that would look bad if it came out that she did cheat, they don't want that information ever hitting the streets, so they're just going to help her protect it. And I feel like it's the same thing with Wander. It's like, it's not good for business if people discuss all this crazy Wander stuff. No, she's not Asian, Dave. I think she's Middle Eastern, actually. Should be fun for you, Dave. You have a whole bunch of teams in this break. Should be a fun little Allen and Ginter for you. Best of luck to you and everybody else. The biggest poker scandals in recent years. The biggest scandals are Russ Hamilton, the Ultimate Bet scandal, Absolute Poker Ultimate Bet scandal. There's a Pot Ripper, Russ Hamilton. Nice, Hayes. Let's go, baby. Martin Cabral. There's the real big one was Jake Schindler and Bryn Kenny. And then there's another guy. It was Jake Schindler and who else? Not really Bryn so much, but it was Jake Schindler and... Oh, Ali Izmirovic. This is the last break of the night, by the way, Purple Haze. I gotta go meet wifey for some food after this. She's been waiting patiently. Jake Schindler and Ali Izmirovic, they were one of the most recent big scandals. What they did is they staked a bunch of people in big tournaments, and then when their horses made it deep in the tournament, they simply took over. They just forced them to hand over the controls to them because Jake and Ali were better. They're the best. They were great players. So they would force their horses to hand over the tournament to them. So they would finish out the tournament, which is a big no-no in the poker world. That's ghosting. Absolutely, Mr. Hayes. And I'll be here tomorrow as well. Let's do these box toppers first. You can. It's against the rules, Dave. Box topper number 1 is Mookie for the Dodgers. One of these days, I swear, I'm going to hit a freaking auto in these box toppers. I'm still drawing. It is online, Dave, but still. Soto for the Padres, box topper number 2. My pleasure, Mr. Hayes. I knew you'd like that. Trout on the box topper here. I didn't open this box topper package that cleanly, but nonetheless, there is Trout inside. There's like a bunch of ways. I'm not even really 100% sure. And then Julio on the final box topper here in this 4-box break for the Mariners there. Going to Cal Fusion on the Julio box topper. Let's see what we got in these 4 boxes. Maybe change of play, maybe the IPs. I honestly don't know. I'm not sure how they got caught. Dave Winfield on the mini. Good luck, everybody, as we do 4 boxes of the Gint. I don't know it was in the previous 8 boxes of this, so Edwin Diaz relic piece for the Mets going to Stuho. I don't know it was in the first 8 boxes, so I don't know what we have to expect here. But hopefully some good stuff. Hopefully we hit some good cards. There's Corbin on the base. Seattle mini. I feel something in the back of my hand, either a relic piece or an auto. We'll find out in just a moment. It's going to be an auto. Upside down auto. Upside down rookie auto. Of Liberatore for the Cardinals. Liberatore for Tyler and the St. Louis Cardinals with ink. If we hit any poutine, I'll give away $10 per poutine. I'll random into the room. Or to the break. Oops, sorry. Filigree foil of Jose Ramirez for the Guardians. That's really cool, Dave. That's crazy to even think about. Yeah, the game was so different, bro. The game was so different. Even I know that. Wemby, I mean, I wasn't around, of course, but even I know. My dad always talks about it. The game was so different. Filigree foil of John Kruk. A filigree foil for the Phillies. There's a relic piece of Soto. Padres get a piece, Dave. There you go. Bat piece of Soto. Solid hit. Wemby Black Mini, nice. Wemby Black Mini. It's not an easy hit there. I think we have. Yeah, we do. Wemby Black Mini. That's cool. For Smetty. It's funny, Dave, that you say that because other people would think it would say exactly the opposite. They would say that they would watch an old basketball game and be bored because it's not modern basketball. I think that there's entertainment value in both the old and the new. I mean, if you go all the way back to like the John Wooden era, it's like you couldn't lose. What was it? The four corners thing? Like you couldn't lose. It was like the most ridiculous, silly strategy ever. They had to create a shot clock because you couldn't lose. Final scores were like 2-0, like 4-2, the final score of the whole game. Relic piece of Shohei for Indie Thumb. Dave was telling you guys to take the Angels, and Indie Thumb struck. He attacked, and he's going to get Ohtani relic piece. Well, it was a lot more physical in like the 90s. Maybe the 80s and the 90s, but before that it wasn't. I don't think it was so physical. Filigree foil of Montplaisir. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but that's what it looks like it's pronounced. Yeah, it was definitely more physical in 80s and 90s. 90s were super physical. I spy with my little eye something that might be interesting in the back of my handful. Let's see what we got here. We might have something interesting. Tristan Cassis. I can't quite tell if that's an interesting card or not. I think it is. Oops, sorry, Leover. Fowler, relic piece of Chris. Nah, it's not. Chicago Mini. I thought it was a rip card because I saw the red side. Damn it. Same color as the rip card. Boo. Faked me out, man. I'm freaking out, man. You are freaking out. Man. Ortiz, Black Mini. Gunner base. Filigree foil of Buxton, and then Ian Nichols on the Mini. The Rookie of the Year and Mr. Bye-Bye American Pie. This handful gets us to the halfway point, and there, in the back of that handful, is what I thought I saw earlier. We have a rip card coming up. We're going to get to ripping, hopefully. Rip card incoming. And it's going to be a Met. It's Alvy and the Chipmunks for Stuho. Alvarez to 199 on the rip card. To 199, it's Frankie Alvarez on the rip. That'll beat the sort if you're not here for us to rip it, or if you don't want us to. Either way, Stu-Ho, it's coming to you hot. My dad would say Magic. My dad would say Magic was better. Pretty sure my dad would say Magic. My dad still says to this day, and everybody says this, so it's so crazy to me that nobody seems to want to do it. But my dad always says the most unblockable shot in all of basketball is the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar skyhook. That it's an unblockable shot. And nobody seems to want to do it. Nobody has taken the interest of learning the game's most unblockable shot in history in Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's hook shot, the skyhook. Nico Horner on the filigree foil. It bothers my dad that nobody has cared to learn a skyhook. Yeah, I think he's correct too, Danny. Even I know, and I never saw him play live. But DiMaggio, not Joe, but John, the voice actor on the relic piece there. It is a little crazy to think about that the most unblockable shot in history has. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah, it's not Del Rey. No. We have full case PYT 28 of Allen and Ginter in the store, but Backer instructed me not to add any more of a whole bunch of different breaks. I think Backer is going to give the store a makeover. I think Backer is going to give the store a makeover, and you might see a reduction in some of the prices. I'm not sure, Del Rey, so we're just going to let Backer do his thing. But we were instructed not to add any more of anything temporarily. So what you guys see in the store is what you're going to get until Backer tweaks whatever he wants to tweak, which I assume he'll do pretty quickly. But so it is. We have plenty of more Ginter. I just am not allowed to add any more to the store, which I genuinely apologize for. Oh yeah, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's skyhook it's crazy. They made a documentary about that, didn't they, Danny? I think they made a documentary of it about how Kareem's skyhook was unstoppable, literally unstoppable. Like there's freaking documentaries about it. Oh, Dr. J, wasn't he known for the dunks? Dr. J was known for his dunking, bro. Dr. J. Yeah, purple. Backer's got plenty of poo-poo already. The 1.3 doesn't change much. Jimmy Rollins, relic piece for the Phillies. Gunner. Yeah, and because it's like he's shielding his body. Like, it would just shield the whole body. Like, you couldn't... There was literally an impossible shot to block. You physically had no chance. You physically had no chance of contesting the skyhook. You literally didn't. It wasn't possible to contest. Yeah, exactly, Del Rey. If you got the ball to Kareem in the post, that was a guaranteed 2. Del Rey, Danny and Del Rey, have you guys ever heard my dad's claim to fame about UCLA? My dad went to UCLA undergrad and grad school for law school. And every single year that he was there, they won the NCAA championship. Half of those years were because of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, which at the time, as I'm sure you guys know, was Lou Alcindor. But is that not the coolest claim to fame? My dad went to UCLA for like 7 years or something, or 8 years, and they won the championship every fucking year that he was there. Is that the craziest thing you've ever heard? Imagine going to college for 7, 8 years and your team wins the NCAA championship every single year that you're there. That's insane. My dad proudly told me that one time he was with his girlfriend in the at the time in the cafeteria of UCLA, and that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hit on his girlfriend. Which sounds about right. My dad also went to UCLA with Arthur Ashe. He said he used to play tennis with Arthur Ashe. And my dad's roommate was on the basketball team. He was like a bench player on the basketball team. His other two roommates were Jacoby and Myers. The law guys, the lawyers. Rhys Hoskins bat piece for the Phillies. They used to gamble on their test scores. They used to bet on their test scores. My dad and his three roommates, Jacoby Myers and his roommate, and then they also used to gamble on Monopoly. Gleyber Torres filigree foil. Wemby base. Relic piece of Joey Votto, Mr. I Never Pop Up to the infield for Dave Durango. Joey Votto. I still think that the coolest bet you can make in baseball every single year that Joey Votto is still in the major leagues is, if you know, you know. You can bet every year. You can bet on whether or not, before the season starts, you can bet on whether or not Joey Votto will hit into a single infield pop-up the entire season. And the odds every year are even money on both sides. It's even money, yes or no. More years of his career, he did not pop up to the infield than years that he did. He averages less than one. He averages like a half a pop-up to the infield a year. It's crazy. It really is one of the craziest. Because he chokes up, he doesn't like popping up to the infield. He never does it. It's a great stat, Danny. Look it up. It's really cool. Joey Votto does not pop up to the infield. He will choke up on the bat, and he will not do it. You can literally bet even money at the beginning of every year. Will Joey Votto have one pop-up or more to the infield? A pop-up out, and it's even money on both sides. It's awesome. It's not like you can do that with anybody else. It's just Joey Votto. It's a hell of a stat. It's like in a weird way, it's like a Tony Gwynn thing. You know what I mean? Like, to sacrifice your pride. Like, I'm quite convinced that if Joey Votto played his Meek Mill Black Mini, I'm quite convinced that if Joey Votto wanted to hit for more power and less batting average over the course of his career, I'm very confident that he could have. Very confident. Like, if Joey Votto wanted to hit 35 homers every year, maybe 40, I bet he could have if he wanted to. But he has chosen to bat for average and precision over his years. That's why he chokes up on the bat. He doesn't like striking out. He doesn't like popping up. I would bet a lot of money that if Joey wanted to have more power during his career and a worse average, he totally could have. Totally could have. He's chosen to play like a class act, which I respect, you know? That Tony Gwynn style. Really? That's really cool, Del Rey. That's awesome. My dad says the same thing. My dad says the same thing that you do, Del Rey, that he's a very thoughtful, that he is humble and thought, like exactly the way you're describing him. Del Rey is how my dad has described him. Olivia Pichardo, college baseball player, relic piece. Like exactly the way that you're describing him, Del Rey, is the same way that my dad would talk about him. But you've obviously spoken to him a whole lot more recently than my father has. I guess he's just been like that forever. My dad has a lot of respect for Kareem. Tony Gwynn is the Tony Gwynn. Oh, really? He has good movie knowledge? I didn't know that. Tony Gwynn, Danny Purple Haze, Del Rey, Durango, R2. R2. For a second, I thought you were doing the Wire theme song there, R2. I just wanna fly. Now, what did we switch it over to? Did we switch it over to? Is that Sugar Ray? No, it can't be Sugar Ray. I Just Want to Fly. Is it Sugar Ray? Put your arms around me, baby. I was gonna say it is Sugar Ray, right? Yeah. What was I about to say? I was about to say something interesting, but now I forgot. Shit. Oh, I was gonna say the Tony Gwynn. I mean, everybody that's a baseball fan for... Ooh, hold on. Hold the thought. We have an auto. Let's hold the thought. Come on. Be like Wemby or something huge. Be a Bounty. Be Wemby. Be something crazy. Come on. It's upside down. Hold on. Can't be crazy if it's upside down. It's Reed. Crystal Reed, the actress. Goes to Smetty. I was going to say that, like, everybody that knows baseball and likes baseball stats, which is like all of us, you know, that hang out here in this room, going down the rabbit hole that is Tony Gwynn's statistics and all those crazy stats that he has, there's not much more enjoyable. Like going through those old Tony Gwynn stats, it's just not even real. Like, you go through those Tony Gwynn stats and anybody looks at them and they're just like, this can't be real. There's no way this is real. It's like, that's just how Tony's stats are. They're not even real. Sugar Ray. I've seen Alien Ant Farm in Rochester when I was 21 years old in college. Not quite Sugar Ray, but... Recap time for the 4-boxer. My dad says Ted Williams is the greatest hitter that he ever saw. And my grandpa took my dad to a Yankees Red Sox game, even though my dad and my grandpa were Dodgers fans, right? And my grandpa took my dad to a Yankees game, and when he brought him to the Yankees game, my dad said, "Why are we coming to the Yankees game? We're Dodgers fans. You've only brought me to Dodgers games my whole life." And my grandpa told my dad, he said, because the Red Sox are playing the Yankees today, and Ted Williams is the greatest hitter I've ever seen, so I needed you to see him as well before the opportunity passed. So my grandpa brought my dad to a Yankees Red Sox game, even though they hated the Yankees, just because he insisted my father had to see Ted Williams play live before he retired. I'm not sure, Ted. You could look at the basketball stuff to try to figure it out. I'm pretty sure that they won the championship every year my dad was there, but probably the 60s, Ted. The 60s. He went to UCLA in the 60s. Little mini black Wemby there. Kind of like that card. And then a couple autos. Reed, the actress, for Smetty, and Liberatore for the Cardinals, going to Tyler. And then we had a rip card, which I'm going to have beat the sort. It's Frankie Alvarez for the Mets, going to Stuho. 184 to 199 on the rip. Good luck on that, Stuho. When you receive it in the mail, let us know what you get. That was 4 boxes of Allen and Ginter, the last 4 of this case. PYT 54. There's a full case of Ginter in the store. PYT number 28. If you guys want more Ginter, take that. I can't put any more 4 boxes in the store yet, but we probably will tomorrow or the next day. Thank you guys so much for joining this 4-boxer of Allen and Ginter to close the evening. I appreciate you all. That was a break.